We are assembled here for a very serious thought-provoking discussion on, I would rather think, two important things. One is protection of our culture. Next 25 years, how are we going to protect our traditional values? Number one. And how are we going to manage to encourage creativity without loss of traditional values? Both are equally important. And in these days of technological progress, how can our arts get benefit through technological advances? How are we going to make use of technology for, as I said, preservation and propagation of certain values? When I say values, I have to definitely underline traditional values. And these are values which exist in time and in timelessness. They are very special values. They are aesthetic values and they are spiritual values. And the Bharatiya culture is something which is completely spiritual, basically spiritual. There is no difference between secular and sacred in India. Everything is sacred. You are sacred, I am sacred, because we are part of one. And that one is only, we say in different languages, in different ways, that Param, that Parabrahma, that God, whatever it is. And there is no difference between the between the creation and the creator. This is the basic philosophy of even art. It is important for every artist to realize that when you are a composer or a choreographer or a poet, always remember it is not that individual, but it is something more than that. It is just not your intellect, but it is your soul, which is nothing but part of that whole. We believe in three Shaktis: Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. The three are interconnected. Ichha is also important. Don't think, my dear youngsters here, desire is not wrong, but what you should have is right desire. That's why you have dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Dharma is number one. If your kama is based on dharma, and if your artha is based on dharma, moksha is automatically, the visa is already given for that world. Even in Tamil, what do we say? Aram, Porul, Inbam, Vida. Aram is number one. Dharma is number one. So, all our arts are, rather, all the arts have been developed with a specific goal. And a common goal, mind you, whether it's a Nagaland folk dancer, a tribal dancer, or a Bharatanatyam dancer. The ultimate goal is only one, and that goal is moksha, to be one with that divine. To enable one to evolve from human level to divine level, Bharatiya arts have been developed. So it is just not for somebody to clap. In fact, in Bharatiya culture, it's very strange. Clapping hands, this kind of applaud, is not part of Indian culture. If you see old dramas in Sanskrit, even in Tamil, They won't say the audience are clapping hands. They'll say aha. They'll say oh. In North India, they'll say wah wah. Doesn't mean wah wah. There you limit yourself to the linguistic communication. But that aha or va comes from the soul of the Rasika. It is just not from your tongue. It is not even from your brain. It is from your soul. That is why the word rasa has a very special connotation in Indian aesthetics. It's the ultimate. Rasa is the ultimate. I don't want to go into the details of whether it is 8 rasa or 9 rasa, when it became 9, because it was only analyzed as 8 in Natya Shastra times, and later in Tolkapiyam also you have only 8 Shuvai, but another rasa, the Shanta rasa, was introduced later and validated. Don't think it was not validated. People like greatest philosophers like Abhinav Gupta of Kashmir, who lived about 1,000 years ago, validated Shantarasa. And why that Shantarasa is validated, don't think it was not mentioned in Natya Shastra. It was mentioned in some of the editions of Natya Shastra. Shanta is included, but not in all the editions. But Shanta is what you ultimately want in life. All our Vedic recitations, you would have heard, my dear youngsters here, we end as Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We want that Shanti in the world. You don't want to be always fighting. That is why India is trying its best not to fight with Pakistan, though it is giving us a lot of trouble, irritating everybody. We are known for forbearance, because ours is the only bhumi that is called Karma Bhumi and Punya Bhumi. Bharata Punya Bhumi. No other part of the earth is called Punya Bhumi. This is alone called Punya Bhumi because I'm reminded of a definition or a description given by no less than Bhagwan Puttaparthi Baba for the word Bharat. He says it is made up of Bijaksharas. Bha is Brahma Bijaksharam. It's a seed akshara for infinity or Parabrahman. Rata is one who revels in the meditation of that Parabrahman. So, Bharat means it is a Punya Bhumi where there is a purpose for living and just not eating and multiplying your own tribe, but there is something more than that, where a human being is evolved to become a divine being. Everybody cannot become Kanchi Mahaswami, but at least we can develop a mind to respect that divinity. And how do we do that? All our arts are ladders. They are given as ladders to climb over that ladder to understand a greater level in life. But it is very interesting, all our arts, whether it is folk art or classical art, we have grades, like you have in education. Can you ask a kindergarten child to write the examination for master's degree? It is all very gradual. That is why it is graded. Arts are also like that. And the present generation must understand you have to blossom into artists. You are students, but it takes time. And what can make you an artist is only sadhana. Nothing in the world is possible without hard work. And 3 years, almost 3 years of this pandemic sitting at home has made us all lazy. No work in the office. I'm told many children failed in their examination in high school because they forgot to write fast. They lost that habit of writing. Man has become so dependent on machine. Machine has progressed in the 20th century and man has regressed. And one major reason for this is not understanding artistic values. And that too, artistic values of the Orient. Orient versus Occident, that will always be there because Asian culture is spiritual culture. And the Western culture is material culture. There is ocean of a difference. You can say fusion and all that confusion will be there. It is okay at political level, you can make gimmicks. You can have a raga, ask another Nathaswaram to play along with another Western jazz musician. Okay, it is okay for 10 minutes or maximum half an hour, maybe one evening, after which you get headache. You come out and have headache. There is something called validation of your own culture. You must have that self-respect, my dear youngsters. A common self-respect is the need for India today. We have to respect our own tradition. We have to respect our own language, as he rightly pointed out, our own mother tongue. It will take another 100 years, sir, to wipe. We don't have to wipe English. English has become an Indian language now. It is accepted. Even abroad, they say, oh, this is Indian English. Yes, it is Indian English. There is an American English. There is a UK English. If you speak the English from, the UK English, the American will say, oh, you speak the king's language or the queen's language. I once said, it is a queen now, not king. This was when Queen Elizabeth was alive. So these are all different, not languages, but different modes of expression, maybe different prakrits of the same Sanskrit, which binds all the prakrits. Samskrita has been the lingua franca of not only the presently known geographic land that is Bharat, but it had been the lingua franca for the whole of Asia. In what language did the Chinese travelers come and speak? They interacted with local people. How did they do it? And in Brunei, there was a Sanskrit university. Chinese scholars like Fahian, they all studied there and then came here. And how did our Bodhidhamma from Kanchipuram went to Japan, who founded the Zen Buddhism? Zen is nothing but Dhyanam. It's a wrong pronunciation of Dhyanam. That becomes Zen in Japanese. In what language did they interact? 80% of Cambodian language is Sanskrit. You speak in Sanskrit, even in Indonesia, which is 90% Islamic today. You know how they start the speech? Om Swasti Astu. Every minister in Indonesia will only greet like that, Om Swasti Astu. And when they complete, like how we will say Tamil Varga or Jai Hind, whatever it is, they'll say Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. This is the Indonesian culture. They have not changed. Only we have changed. And Ramayana is the, I would say, the very emblem of Indonesia. Everything is Rama. Every performing art is connected to Rama. The puppet show is Ramayana. The leather puppet show is Ramayana. The dance is Ramayana. And do you know, my dear friends, in Indonesia, as I said, it is almost an Islamic country. every night in the year, there is a Ramayana performance in Prambanan temple. Temple is not live temple, but the Ramayana with 150 dancers happens every night, and it's a big tourist attraction for them. For whatever it is, Ramayana is preserved there. And when I went there, they're asking, do you also have Ayodhya in your country? எங்க தலையில அடிச்சுக்கிறது? Because their Jog Jakarta is Ayodhya. And they think Rama was born there. Yogyakarta, now it is called Yogyakarta. And Rama dynasty is still there in Thailand. It's called Rama. The kings are all called Rama. And there is another Ayodhya there. And here we fight. Why are we fighting? It is sad. We don't have that self-respect. Turn back and see our history. The Britishers made us think, not us. We are, I think, more enlightened. Aren't you, my dear youngsters here? You are more enlightened. Your belief in our tradition is certain. And according to our Puranas are just not mythical stories. As said in one of the books, Puranas are nothing but a bundle of mythological stories worthy of no credence. On contrary, it's the Puranas which give you the genealogy of Indian kings. Right from the days of Mahabharata, you have all the dynasties enlisted there with proper timing. And why I talk about Mahabharata and Ramayana, these two epics are the main subject of our performing arts from Himalayas to Cape and more in the Southeast Asia. Whether it is classical, whether it is Kathakali, or whether it is just a tribal folk dance, or the folk drama. You normally call it Terukuthu, but it is called Terukuthu by only people who don't practice the Kuthu. Otherwise, it's only called Mahabharata Kuthu, or the Bharata Kuthu, or just Kuthu, which means in Tamil, theatre art. See, there is an extraordinary connection when we think of our performing arts 25 years ago. What we have to remember and develop is a national outlook. You don't have to say, I don't like the phrase creating national integration. That sounds as though you're bringing something which is not connected, creating something, just a artificial connection of few things. No, I would rather put it as creating an awareness about national integration, which is immanent for thousands of years. This is what our artists must understand. If there is in Tamil, if you have the word Isai for music, it's a classical Tamil word for music. My dear youngsters, you will be surprised to know, in Manipuri language, the word for music is Isai. How do you get this connection? Where do you get this connection? When 1,000 years ago, our own Rajaraja Chola was building Tanjavur temple, we are so proud of it. We are so proud of it not only because UNESCO has recognized it. Well, that is one thing apart. It is a temple where the archaeological department coexists with the puja facilities that are there. It is still a living temple. I want every monument ours to become living temples. Why don't you accept that? To be recognized by UNESCO as a monument is one thing. Tamil கிராமத்துலேருந்து வரவன் வந்து he will go to the museum and call it Setta College. And go to the zoo and he'll call it Uyir College. So college is a common term. For him, whether it is zoo or museum, it is same. It's the same college. Uyir College means where animals are still living. Setta College means where the sculptures are there with no puja. I want all my monuments to become living temples. This has to be our zeal. This has to be our goal. Make it all a living place. Go perform in Mahabalipuram. So what if there is no puja there? Your performance itself is a puja, according to our Shastras. You pray through your dance, through your music. It's part of worship. It's part of Shodashopachara. 16 protocols that Agama Shastras have prescribed. Natyam Darshayami. That is why we have started the Natyanjali in different temples, and we have been very successful in that. And after about nearly 15 temples have revived the Natyanjali tradition. Well, my institution, Nrityodaya, has been very, very close to this concept, and we have been, in fact, coordinating this. Only yesterday I came to know that Tamil Nadu government, HRNC, also has decided to have Natyanjali in 5 temples. Give them a big hand. Better late than never. So, music and dance are sacred in our culture. What is not sacred? Life is sacred, and lifestyle is sacred. If your mother is a refined lady, then she will teach the child not to trample on a 1 rupee note, even if it is stone. Because it is not the monetary value, but because it is Mahalakshmi. The value is different. And even a torn piece of newspaper cannot be trampled on by a child. Then the mother will say, it is Saraswati. On Aksharas, you can't put your foot. This Guru Shishya Parampara is another very important thing. Whether you study in the college or wherever it is, I remember Professor Asa Jnana Sambandam, a doyen in the field of Tamil literature. Once he addressed our Natyakala conference and said, the only place, only field where the teacher's feet are touched and propitiated is your dance field. I'm told that in America, the professor is addressed by name, first name. Not even Mr. Hi, that high culture. I remember that Namaste culture is going away in India. Even here, you have started saying hi to your teacher. Very sad. This has to be curbed. In no other words, even Kabir has said in one of his dohas, if you are asked, who is your first preference to do namaskaram? If God and Guru are there, he says Guru. Because it's the Guru who shows you who God is. So Guru's importance is something very special that Bharatiya culture has taught us. And this Guru Bhakti is something which is still there in the field of dance. Sir, I can promise you it is there. You will be surprised to know, even among the cinema dancers, the group dancers who come to practice cinema dance when it is being choreographed, will first touch the floor and do the namaskaram to Bhuma Devi. And this is common all over India, whether you are a tribal art. I mean, think of Kalaripait, they'll first touch Bhuma Devi and do namaskaram. That has to be cultivated. If Tattikumbudal with Bhuma Devi's awareness is there all over India, we win the case. Bharatiya culture will be definitely protected. And I'm very happy that ICCR has started a new project, competition for Indian dance, Indian classical dance, for those NRIs who are settled abroad, and also those who are foreigners. And they had a very nice competition recently. And those who won came to Chennai and performed yesterday. And our Bharata Elango Foundation for Asian Culture collaborated with ICCR. But unfortunately, the crowd was very small. Those young artists definitely deserve notice of larger crowds. I only wish if Ministry of Culture can plan these festivals a little earlier, then, good things will reach a lot more people. This is my only request to the ministry. Sir, go and tell them. You're here representing Ministry of Culture, and I'm particularly happy. No, that is external affairs. All ministries are like that. So if you can tell Ministry of Culture to coordinate with Ministry of External Affairs and organize these festivals a little ahead, so that there is enough time. Chennai is having such a big cultural festival now. And we could have easily given space for these youngsters who came from 5 countries. And I tell you, their standard was so high. One Nadaswaram player from Malaysia, that's the last thing that I expected. One extraordinary Hindustani musician from Sri Lanka, a Sinhalese, who sang brilliantly. When I saw and heard them, I said there is no dearth for talent, and Bharatiya culture is protected already.